Hey everybody, Dawn Priestley here, life coach, strength strategist, and long distance relationship expert. Today we're going to talk about something called the upper limit problem. And if you've never heard of this, you might be one of the few who haven't now, but this comes from a lovely book by Dr. Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap. And if you've never read it, I highly recommend you grab a copy and have a read. I have to show you on my iPad because I lent my daughter my hard copy. So yeah, that's what the book cover looks like. I highly recommend grabbing a copy. So what is an upper limit problem? So each of us, Dr. Gay Hendricks describes it as each of us has an internal thermostat for the amount of love, success, creativity, financial success, all the different things that we are supposed to enjoy in life. And he says that that thermostat usually gets programmed early on in childhood. And once it's programmed, our upper limit thermostat setting holds us back from enjoying all that love, financial abundance, success, creativity, everything that's rightfully ours. So it's a very interesting concept. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the upper limit problem has affected me in the past. So one area of my life that I've really struggled with up until the last few years is the amount of love that I've allowed myself to receive. So I have abandonment issues from when I was young, and in my past relationships, I've always tried to push people away to see if they'd stay, and all these weird things that I would do. Now that I'm older and I know what I'm doing, it makes a lot of sense, right? So one of the times that my upper limit problem would tend to kick in the past was I've been in a really beautiful, loving, long-distance relationship for 10 years now, and he finally moved here. We moved in together about, a year and a half ago, but we both travel a ton for work. He's away for long stints, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. So when we used to go on these beautiful trips together, he grew up in Europe, so going to Paris for the weekend was no big deal for him. And one day he says, do you want to go to Paris? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course I want to go to Paris. Who doesn't want to go to Paris? I'm from a very small town of 24,000 people in Canada's far north. So yeah, I had never really been a lot of places until I met him. So we go on this beautiful trip to Paris, and about day 2, I just completely shut down. And I'm like, what is going on with me? This is something I've wanted to do all my life. Like, why am I doing this? And I had done that on previous trips as well, or maybe a couple after. We'd taken a few trips to Seattle and, have these beautiful, glorious, what's supposed to be a lovely romantic weekend when we're finally together. And I totally sabotage it. My mood shifts. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not happy. I'm debating whether or not this relationship is worth it. I'm just like totally messed up. So this is an upper limit problem. So you see where I'm going here? And this can happen in any area of our life. Whether, say, you get a raise at work and then you go home and have a fight with your partner, or you're in a relationship like that, or you're feeling creatively blocked and you mess up somewhere else in your life, or you just lose, you lose a bunch of weight, and then you kind of stop doing what you're doing and self-sabotage yourself that way and go back to what you feel is normal. So I've been talking for months now about upper limit problem to quite a few people. And interestingly enough, as I said, I lent my hard copy of my book to my daughter. And I thought, you know what, everyone should read this book. And I was really into reading it again. And I've read it a couple times, but it's one of those books I think you should read once a year, at least, just to remind yourself about this issue and how to help others in your life that might be experiencing it, because you'll start to see it in other people as well. So then I recommended it to my daughter's partner because he just got a big promotion at work and he'd been really sick for a couple months and couldn't figure out what was going on. And I'm like, aha. And then I was working with a client as well a couple weeks ago, and same thing. I said, you've been sick a lot. He had a broken rib. He was had an infection. There's a couple things happening in a row that was happening to him while we were going through our coaching series. So of course, when you're in a life coaching series, you do tend to experience a lot of growth in various areas of your life. Whatever your goals are that you're working on, you will experience growth in those areas. So it was so interesting. So the other day, I'm driving downtown and I drive past my client's workplace, and he had phoned me a couple days prior and said, what's the name of that book again? And what's the cover look like? And he had been at the bookstore looking for him. Sorry, my hair's all goofy today. So I said, yep, this is it. Good luck finding it. Let me know. You might have to get it online, whatever. So I'm driving past his place of work and I'm thinking, I wonder if he found the book. That'd be so great if he found it, and could read it. And then I was thinking about my daughter's partner, and if, I had sent him a link to a video on it and a couple things. And then I'm driving home and at that very moment, and as you can hear, I keep clearing my throat. I had also been working with a business coach. My business had been expanding like crazy. I was having clarity after moment of clarity in my business, working with my business coach. And I'm driving along going, oh my God, I've had a sinus infection for 2 months. I've been on antibiotics and they didn't work. I had to cancel a work trip because of it. There was all sorts of things going on with me where this sinus infection had just dug in and wasn't letting go. But at the same time, I'd been experiencing huge growth in my business. So it was a big revelation to me that I had this big aha moment because I was like, oh, here I've been pushing this concept of upper limit problem on everyone else in my life. And here I am, I'm the one experiencing it. So that was a pretty big eye-opener. So what do you do when you realize you have an upper limit problem and you're pushing against that thermostat? How do we raise that thermostat so that we get more comfortable with more success, more love, more growth, more creativity in our lives? So I'm just going to read these because there's a few things that we can do. So Dr. Gay Hendricks says to make a commitment to keeping an attitude of wonder and play while learning about your upper limit behaviors. So that's what I did the other day when I had that big aha moment. I'm like, oh my God, that's so interesting. And I had a final session with my business coach, and I said, guess what I figured out? Oh my God. And so, yeah, it's not to be hard on yourself. It's simply just to recognize it and go, oh, okay. You can make a list of your upper limit behaviors. That can be very useful. And here are some of the most common ones. So worrying, blame and criticism, getting sick, squabbling with someone, your partner, your parent, your child, whatever, hiding your significant feelings, not keeping agreements, not speaking significant truths to the relevant people. So, for example, you're mad at John and he's the relevant person to talk to, but instead you tell Susan, hey, I'm really pissed off at John right now. That's not the person to be talking to. So deflecting also is a way that we deal, our upper limit problems comes out. So, ignoring compliments is a really good example. When someone says, hey, I really love what you've done with your website, or I love that, you look great, you've lost a few pounds, and you're like, no, whatever, doesn't matter. That's deflecting. Don't do that. You should be proud of everything you do. And when you notice yourself doing one of these things on your upper limit list, such as worrying or failing to communicate some truth, shift your attention to the real issue. Like I tend to do that a lot. I'm just like, what is really going on here? And I noticed it in my partner a couple of weeks ago, and I called him on it. I'm like, what is really going on with you? What do you need right now? So it's really important to just really shift your attention to the real issue. And in that way, you're going to expand your capacity for abundance, creativity, and love and success. Number 4, also consciously make more room in your awareness for all of this. So using the resources of your whole being, not just your mind. For example, feel more love in your chest and heart area. Savor that feeling in your body. Sit with it. And just sit with that satisfaction of that feeling of abundance or success. All those things that you need to feel. And then embrace a new story. Like, tell about your adventures in how you're going to have more love and success. Write yourself a new story. Find a new mythology or make up one of your own, and that really shows you're enjoying your life full of radiance and your expressed potential. And just really love your life and how it can be when you have more of what you need in your life. So, tell me in the comments below, do you now realize that you've had an upper limit problem on occasion? I'd love to hear from you. And what did you do about it? Or did you not know that it was actually called an upper limit problem? Run out and get the book. I'll link it in my blog post and below the video here on YouTube as well. So would love to hear from you. Again, I'm Dawn Priestley, life coach, strength strategist, and long distance relationship expert. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.